Hi, and welcome. I'm here on a Friday evening for a live card making tutorial. You know what? And if you have subscribed to my channel, you would have gotten a notification of that. And so if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, well, go ahead and do that right now. I'm Shelley Godby, and for 23 years, I've been teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles through my YouTube videos, my Stamping Smiles blog, and my mailing list. So this evening, I'm going to be demonstrating with the retiring Cottage Wreath stamp set and coordinating Country Wreaths dies for a sweet and simple spring card. All right, so how about we go ahead and get a closer look? And you're welcome to join in and comment and just even say hello. And don't forget, give my video a thumbs up and share it. That would be a big help. All right. So here it is. Here's a closer view of that Cottage Wreath stamp set and Country Wreath dies. Aren't these are so pretty. And so what I'm excited about with this came out in a holiday catalog, and it looks like it was geared for um, the fall and winter holidays, right? Because you've got over here for Halloween, fall, and Christmas with the berries and the greetings, boo and grateful, and I think I just said Merry Christmas. And but we're going to go ahead and use this for a spring card, and then at the end I'll show you another one I made for a summer card. So the Cottage Wreath stamp set is a 4-season stamp set, and it is fantastic. All right, and so what I did was I put my dies on this 6x6 magnet card that I get from Stampin' Storage. So it sounds a lot like Stampin' Up, but it is a different company than Stampin' Up. And there's a link under the video to it. And it's just so good and sturdy. These aren't going to fall off. Really easy to get them off instead of fighting the tape. And then I slide them into a pocket. And again, those you can pick up on Stampin' Storage too. And under the video, I have a link to both of these for you. So if you'd like to check that out. All right. Oh, so the Cottage Wreath stamp set and the dies, these are both retiring. The retiring list came out on Monday. And if you missed it, I did a live video walking you through the annual catalog, the 23-24 Stamp Up annual catalog, and the January through April mini catalog. So you can mark up your catalog to know what's retiring, what's staying, what's going on. It's just a really quick, easy reference for you. And so there's a link under the video to that. And I had another thought and then I already forgot it. But anyway, these are retiring. Oh, I also gave you the discounts so you'll know. Now, the wreaths starting April 9th, the Cottage Wreaths, or no, the Country Wreath dies, that'd be 10% off. So now that's a calculated risk for you. Do you wait till April 10th to save 10%? Not that I don't love savings, but everything now that's retiring is available only while supplies last. So if you're liking this and haven't picked it up yet, and after watching it going, okay, I really need that because it is a 4-season stamp set, I recommend just going ahead and getting over to my online store, www.shopwithshelley.com, and picking it up. All right, so before we're going to die cut with this wreath, but we need a stamp first. And so what I have here is some basic white cardstock. Whenever you're stamping on white cardstock, you absolutely want to use the Stampin' Up! Basic white cardstock. It has a smooth, tight finish to give you crisp, clean images. Oh, you know what else I forgot to mention is this is a distinctive stamp set. And so wait till you see it stamped. We're going to get all this beautiful layers and shading. All right, and so I have here the Garden Green Classic Stamping Pad. So I'm going to pick this up and slide that in. And then I have, this is a photopolymer stamp set, so the rubber is clear, and I have it on a D block. So comfortable to hang on to. So let's go ahead and get this good and inked. And we'll just stamp somewhere in the center. I don't need to be perfect, just in the center so the die can fit around it. So there we go. Let's hold it down for a little bit so we can get a beautiful inked job. And there we go. Look at that shading. Isn't that just fabulous? And you saw what I did. I didn't have to do anything special to get that. So to close it, I do a little push, pull here, and then click. And we are done with the garden green. Okay, so now I need a die cut. But last week I tried something different that's been working really well for me. Instead of trying to place it on the platform, I'm just going ahead and doing it on my table first. So let me pull this out, take this off. And this was really cool to line up. Now, I'm going to tell you, it worked for me beautifully the first time. Now that I'm on camera, we'll see what happens. But look at this. The inside of this, they have got that. It looks pretty circular, but look at that die, how that fits in. It makes it super, super easy to line up. And so what I have here is some Crafter's Companion low-tack tape, and Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell this. I need something to secure it, to hold it in place for me. And so you could use washi tape, a Post-it note. This has just been working really well. It's clear. I can see through it. And again, Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell this, but I have a link under the video to it. So we've got this lined up. The inside is looking fabulous. So now I'm looking around the outside, trying to see if it looks pretty equal. Okay, hopefully. All right, so there we go. We've got that all set. So let me grab my Stampin' Cut, and emboss machine and all the plates. And here we go. I think I need to come out a little bit more for that. There we go, this way. All right. And so let's go ahead and open this up. And look at that. I just love this thing. All right. So now what you need to do is build what's called a sandwich. And we'll start with plate number 1. And all the plates I'm using today are included with the purchase of a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. We're using a thin metal die, so I need a plate number 2. And then a plate number 3, a cutting plate. And now our cardstock with the die. And I've got one more piece of cardstock here. And this is fresh freesia. And for that, I'm going to use the bow die. Now, I had 2 choices. I could have stamped it and die cut it with the open die, but I decided to use the more intricate one because it's going to emboss into it. So there we go. And then we finish with another plate number 3. All right. So I so appreciate all of you coming and spending a Friday evening with me. They kept predicting a really big snowstorm here. Well, yeah, I mean, it could have been, and it ended up being a bunch of to-do about nothing. And I thought, well, I canceled my plans. And I said, instead, I'm going to come and stamp with you all. So look at that. Isn't that cool? So not only did it die cut the shape, but it die cut those slits in there to give it some interest, which it's very, very lovely. And let's see how well I did without hovering over top. If I didn't do a good job by the magic of TV, I have another one all set to go. Oh, okay. See, that's how easy it is. That center is fantastic. All right. So let's put this aside and we can get busy with our card. Okay. And let's go ahead and put this right back on here so I'm not losing anything. Isn't that easy instead of trying to find that piece of tape to put it on? And we'll just slide that right back in. Okay, we are all set. So, and that distinctive stamp set, just so lovely. All right, so, okay, so now I have my wreath. I have my bow. And let me get my Stampin' Seal. And I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of the bow. Let's do this. There we go. And what I have underneath me is a silicone mat. And so, my adhesive was a little bit wider than the actual bow, that center. No big deal because the adhesive won't stick to this. And so I really like working on this. And I have a link under the video for that too, because I picked that up on Amazon. And I can come back in a little bit tighter. You don't have to see. There we go. Okay. Fantastic. So because I cut it out, I knew it would stand out well against color. And I thought, ooh, I got out the Meandering Meadows 6x6 Designer Series paper. Now, this is one of the online exclusives. Yep, Meandering Meadows. And I don't know if you know about those, but we have some products that aren't pictured in any catalog. They are pictured online only. And these watercolor scenes are just astonishingly beautiful. And so I went through here and picked some patterns, gorgeous, gorgeous paper. And how long, online exclusives, it is not clear how long things will be available. They, some or probably most will be available only while supplies last. So I got this wood grain and I thought, oh, this looks like my front door. How cool is that? Okay, so then because I've got color here, instead of putting a tag on there, I'm going to go ahead and emboss right on it. That's something that's really fun to do, to be able to stamp right on Designer Series paper. So I need to prepare this because I will be embossing, with an embossing powder. And so what I have here is the embossing buddy that is part of this embossing editions toolkit. You get all of these, the tray to sprinkle the powder into and funnel right back in. The embossing buddy, that's really important. I'll explain that in just a second when I use that. The brush to brush it in. And these save your fingers from getting burned. They're tweezers that work the opposite way. Normally we're, so you tweeze and then you don't have to, you get to release, right? Because the pressure is off. So this is metal, nice and strong, but then you have the plastic tip so the heat doesn't come and get you. All right, so the embossing buddy, the embossing powder sticks to what is wet. And what we want it to stick to is the Versamark pad, not any grease or oil in our fingers or anything else. So this will rub this on here and it's going to eliminate most, if not all of that. And you can see a little bit of that powder here. So the Versamark pad, it just stays wet for a nice long time. Oh, and let me put this back here for my placement. I'm not going to adhere it yet, just put it there. And I'm using the greeting from here. Some people just make life better. That is so sweet. All right, so let's get this inked and come over here, straight up and down. Resist rocking. If you rock, then you can catch ink along there. We don't need that. There's just no reason to rock at all. Okay, so right now, this is a clear ink. And yeah, you can see a little bit in the light. But let's bring my tray over. And what I have here is the white Stampin' Emboss powder. And I gave you some bad information if you went through the catalog with me and a couple other videos. The basics Stampin' Emboss powders, the white, the clear, and black, they are sold out. But the metallics are still available, and I'm sorry for that. I just thought both were gone. So I'm going to sprinkle this on, and then it just sticks to the wet, which I just think is still the coolest thing. But it's not the best part. It really isn't. So what I have here is my heat tool. And this has two settings. The first one is a low, and you can dry ink, if you're using a pigment ink and you want to move it along. But the second setting is where we do the embossing. And this will melt the powder. So just hold it. You don't need to wave it around. Just hold it. And it's going to heat up that cardstock, or well, in this case, Designer Series paper, and then melt it. And once it starts, it goes quickly. So there we go. And see, look at that. It's turning opaque. I mean, it's standing out beautifully against this brown wood grain. And there we go. And once you have it, stop. And this is really thin, so it warped it a little bit, but if we do the back side, it'll unwarp it. There we go. The heat tool, fantastic. And it has this plastic tip on it, so I'm not going to get burned because that's metal right there, and that protects me. And if I drop it on the floor, which, if you've been following me, happens sometimes because my cord's a little short for as far away as I have it plugged in. and it is just a fantastic tool. Okay, and then I'm going to use this pattern. Isn't that pretty? I looked it up. It's a daisies start blooming in March. So I thought, okay, there's a spring card. Very, very pretty. And in there is the fresh freesia. And that's what we did with our wreath. We have that fresh freesia bow. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to layer this on fresh freesia. Okay, and look at that. Oh my goodness, these patterns, this paper is just amazing. So what I have here is some Stampin' Seal. And it's still a little bit warped, so let's be more generous. Normally I say 1 inch in each corner is plenty, but that's a little warped from the heat, but nothing we can't fix with a little bit of extra snail. And thank you for everyone who has shared my video and given it a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. And then tomorrow, after the video is done processing, I'll have a link under it to my blog post with the measurements for this card and a PDF you can download and print. And so there we go. We've got that. And I've got garden green for the card base, but we're going to use this. So back with some Stampin' Seal. And you know what? I'm going to take a moment to talk to you. Okay, so I was talking to you about, the catalog walkthrough. There's a link under the video so you can get your, let me show you what I did. And it's really nice because I'm looking through and I can go to any page and I know what's happening. It's like, oh, that's all retiring. And this, well, the bundle's retiring, but the 2 other parts are carrying over. And so it's just making it very quick for me. It took me a good while to get there, but it's going to save me time in the long run, and it will you too. And so that leads me to, there are bundle discounts that are retiring. The stamp set and the punch and or dies will be available later, but not at the discount. And so I've got a link under the video, I believe. And if not, I'll check afterwards and get it there to my blog post with all of those bundles that are going away and how much you'll save by ordering before April 30th. And I'm recommending that you do it in March because that's how we are, right? We wait to the last minute, and I'm no better. But, Stampin' Up! Doesn't do back orders. And so if both parts aren't available, you won't be able to order the bundle and still get the discount. So instead, just get on over to my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com, and pick up all of the retiring bundles so you can get that savings, and that'll give you more money for other stuff. All right, so what I'm going to do is write on here. Okay, I'm not going to press down because I want to make sure of my placement. And this look I really like. So let's turn this over, and I'm going to use my favorite adhesive ever, the Stampin' Dimensionals. And while I'm putting these down, I had another note. For all of my sweet stampers who place their orders with me, if you've ordered $50 or more in products, before shipping and sales tax, October 1st through March 28th, I'm going to send you one of the 24-25 Stampin' Up! Catalogs absolutely for free. So if you haven't done that yet, you have until Thursday, March 28th to get in a $50 order. And with the retiring things that are happening and these bundles that are going away and the online exclusives, there are a lot of reasons to be ordering. So let's go ahead and place this on here. And so we can see the color that we're after. Okay, and that's looking, I want to come over just a little bit. So if you don't press down, you can get away with a lot. Okay, fantastic. There we go. And so now for our wreath. And again, the Stampin' Dimensionals, we could just put it on there flat, but giving it a lift just adds so much. And and I was talking and I didn't explain, I will this time. All right, so the backing on there, if it's not coming up easily like that one already, just press down with your thumbnail. Did you see how it makes that edge pop up? So it's just super easy to get off of there. And there we go. And we have a quick and easy spring card with a wreath that's hanging on the front door. That turned out adorable and so easy and the easiest. Oh, I'm not done. I'm not done. You know what? I have some embellishments. Here we go. I have the adhesive back solid gems. And I've got my take your pick tool. I'm going to go ahead and use some of these. You know what? I didn't want the largest. I'll save those for another project. So I've got the medium. They come in 3 sizes, a medium and a small. There we go. Because this wreath isn't terribly big. So just to dress it up a little bit, you know, and there is a stamp that you could stamp, and then there's a coordinating die. But I just thought this would be a lot of fun. The texture, you know, it's adding some texture to it. All right, and just a little splash of color, spring color. There it is. Fantastic. All right, and under the video, I have all the products that I use to make my spring wreath card. All right, so I promised to show you another one. So using that same designer series paper, I made one for the summer. And this time, the blue. And I had layered it on the Melon Mambo. And I went to bed and I thought it wasn't working for me. It was a little bit brighter than I wanted. And so when I got up, I tried on the blueberry bushel, like, okay, there it is, and really pretty with the balmy blue. So that same pack of paper, you know, the Meandering Meadows designer series paper. So it doesn't always have to be used for a big scene, that little strip of color, and then with the white around our wreath, it just stands out so beautifully against these colors and the embossing right on there. Just, oh, all kinds of fun. And this, one of the colors in there was the Granny Apple Green, and I used Granny Apple Green for that. And so there we go. So let me see. I want to make sure I went over everything with you that I wanted to. I did how to get a free catalog, retiring products, bundle discounts retiring, the catalog walkthrough, fantastic. And that tomorrow I'll have a link to my blog post with all the measurements for my spring and summer wreath card. And so this was a fun way for me to spend a Friday evening, and I'm so glad you joined me, and I hope you enjoyed it too. And so remember, the Cottage Wreath stamp set and coordinating Country Wreath dies are both retiring and available now in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. All right. And so underneath the video, you'll find all of the supplies and all those links that I was telling you about. So if you'd like to make my spring or summer, or you know what, and you'll have wreaths for every other season when you order the Cottage Wreath stamp set and Country Wreath dies. And so I don't see any comments. And so if you had any questions, you know, you're always welcome to ask. So I guess we will go ahead and say good evening. I'm Shelley Godby, teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Good evening and God bless.